You know, I used to really believe that once you got on this spiritual path, right, it was kind of like the poor man's journey. And the only thing that's actually was poor was my mentality, because quite the opposite is true. And that's what the conversation is going to be about today. So if that was your mentality, we're going to have to talk about it because it's not the case. Hi guys, welcome to Inner Cosmetics. I am ELLE. Thank you always for tuning in to the conversation. Perhaps that's the ego's way of keeping us attached to the 3D. Yes, a lot of conversation about the ego, I know. But I really feel when you get to, not the end of the journey, but the beginning of the end, you realize it's like, dun dun, oh, the ego and the spirit. So the ego is doing everything within its grasp to keep us in this 3D because it's afraid, you know, and it's doing its job. It believes that this is it. This is it. How can it get any better than this, right? And so to keep us in that belief, it's kind of like, well, if you go here, you're giving up money, you're giving up cars, you're giving up fun, vacation. And it's so funny when you're ready to, air quote, leave it all behind. None of that stuff is going to keep us there anyway. There in the sense of wanting to just stay on the same playground, play with the same toys. When the soul, when the spirit is ready to grow, we're moving. And that's where we are, right? This is why we're having these type of conversations and supporting one another, because it's helpful to do so. Yeah, it's a soul journey, but not a soul journey. We need each other. And so as we go through, we begin to wake up to the realization that what was said was true. All of these things are added unto you. And it's beautifully created because you cannot trick the universe. You cannot trick God. You cannot come down this spiritual path under the guise that you're ready for this walk because all of these things are going to be added unto you. There's a screening process, a safety switch, so to speak, because we call them tests and trials and tribulations, but what it really is a screening, right, for the spirit to the soul. And as you go through, and you might feel like you're falling down, and you might feel like God isn't there, but there's a yearning within you that you just can't give up. You just can't give up. And you hold on and you pick yourself up. But it's not you picking yourself up. It's spirit. It's your soul. Because it's ready for it. And it keeps going. Now someone else who might be, what do they call it? A wolf in sheep's clothing or a sheep in wolf's clothing. Excuse me if I got it backwards. But they might come and they're not going to be able to stand that screening process. Can't make it but for so far. Right? And so it's that safety switch that's in there for those who are truly meant to be here. Then you're going to keep going and you're going to feel it and realize it for yourself, that kingdom. I feel the avatar that we're in is the veil, and being able to see beyond the veil is tuning into your true eyes. You got to turn your true eyes on. Right? And that's the heart. That's your life force center down here. Tune into those areas. That's why they say that gut instinct, right? And I always say falling in love. You bring a soul into this world. So think about how much spirit and energy is right here in these areas to guide us through this realm. Otherwise, we're walking blindly. Because this is a filter, it just filtered down the entirety of our experience. So we can only see but so much. But this isn't truly reality that we're seeing. But we're meant to enjoy it, right? That's the thing. It is meant, it all has purpose. And we want to have a full enjoyment of it. So we have to use our tools correctly. And that's understanding that our eyes are below our neck. As you continue, down this path and you keep through the screening, all of a sudden that air quote screening process, boop, it's gone. And you're through and you're here and you're like, oh wow. Oh wow. Wow. And along the way, I'm sure many of us had to heal with the relationship with abundance, right? And abundance comes in many different forms. Heal from love, what we thought was love, right? So we think we're giving somebody love, but if you don't have your own boundaries set around yourself, and if you're just giving and you're feeling like you're just drained, is it love, right? So self-love starts first, and then you're able to give to others. So we've learned a lot along this journey, haven't we? We learned how to love ourselves. We learn that abundance comes in many different forms, because as we communicate and share what's on our heart in a healthy way, we nurture friendships, we nurture relationships with our family. There's so much from the abundance of communication. And the other beautiful thing is the abundance of money. Learning that money is not the root of evil. In fact, if it's from God and we use it any part of our lives that is able to sustain us and give us, where's the separation then, right? And so the only evil is the individual misuse of something, but it's not the thing itself. And so we heal from that as well. And so those are all parts of ourselves that needed that healing. And we're ready and we're here. And it's exciting, right? So it's just here to, again, just bring up these conversations to the surface, to talk about it, and to let you know that the only poor man's journey is that mentality. And then that's the ego stating that. But in fact, there's nothing here but abundance. All right, wonderful chatting with you, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Ciao.